So when you understand that as a machine, there's certain parts you have to do first, because if you were to message anybody or send a connection request to someone new, they're usually asking themselves a couple different questions. Number one, do I know this person? And number two, will they bring me value, or are they going to spam me?
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Win the Hour, Win the Day. And I am your lucky host, Chris Ward. Today we have Marcus Chan in the house, and he is a very impressionable, dynamic sales coach. And if you trip across him online, LinkedIn, or wherever you spend your time, you're going to remember him. And this might be why he's so fantastic at what he does in helping his client do better sales. So welcome to the show, Marcus.
Chris, what is going on? I'm excited to be here. We'll have lots of fun today, I promise.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. So, man, when we were talking about what we were going to talk about in the show, there's a lot of really juicy topics here. So we decided that we would narrow down and, give us a humble brag. You do bring in a considerable amount of revenue in a month just using LinkedIn as a sales tool. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, 100%. So purely off just pure organic, we do at least 30 to 50K cash collected every single month. It's obviously hyper profitable because we're not doing any ads for that piece.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds interesting to us. So where would we start? Because we've heard all different kind of things on LinkedIn, and you usually get the chat people up, backdoor stuff, which I don't know. I've never been able to sink my teeth into. So what's the secret sauce? Why is this working for you, or where do we start?
Well, I think the first thing to understand is, especially when you're selling on social media, it's important to know where is your audience hanging out. So I've also seen when people say, hey, the new platform is platform X, the new platform is platform Y. I think it's important to understand, first off, where is your target market hanging out? So the things I'm going to talk about today actually do apply to really any platform. So I'm going to be able to speak more specific to LinkedIn today, but just understand you can take these same concepts and you can still do the same thing. So first off, understand that LinkedIn by itself has over 300 million active users. There's going to be a percentage of people that will do business with you on there. So the mistake a lot of people make is they go on there and, like you mentioned, Chris, they start with let me just message someone and start chit-chatting with them. Hey, how's it going? What are your biggest problems? And immediately, like, red flags go up, sales resistance goes up, and you just ignore.
Yeah.
So there's a few things you actually need to do first before you start actually doing any type of outbound messaging. And it's understanding that LinkedIn as a platform is a tool for many ways to generate traffic and leads and conversions. So that's everything from either generating inbound leads to also outbound to also nurturing prospects through your sales process to get them to close. So when you understand that as a machine, there's certain parts you have to do first, because if you were to message anybody or send a connection request to someone new, they're usually asking themselves a couple different questions. Number one, do I know this person? And number two, will they bring me value, or are they going to spam me? That's generally what people are asking themselves in their head. So the first thing you have to do, if you understand that, is I need to make sure I reduce their risk of thinking that and bring as much value as possible. So that starts off with the first thing people are going to do, which is check out your profile page. So what you have to ask yourself is your profile highly optimized to bring value and to convert? And when you think this way, every piece on your LinkedIn profile is an asset designed to either help you or hurt you. So that's everything from your tagline, is it clear what you do, who you serve, how you can help them, to your banner, same thing, to your about section about you, to your history, to if any content you might post, all of the above. And your goal should be, how can I, when someone lands on this page, how can they, when they read through it, connect with me, feel connected to me, have trust increase, and be open to maybe even a direct message conversation. So first of all, you have to earn the right through your profile page. That's the first thing you must do. And that's also including your headshot too. All right.
Yes. So oh my gosh. Do not get me started on the headshots. Listen, we have had other people here talk to us about, the profile page. And so we respect that, and it should be there. And this is not it, but I am telling you that we're off topic for 1 second, but I cannot say this enough. Sometimes we have a really amazing guests on our show, and there are times that they're high-end professionals, and we used to have, like, for you being on the show, it'd be me and you on the cover of the iTunes thing. And I had to just finally remove that because there's too many people that would just send me like a headshot from their backyard. Right. And
Right.
now we have these quote cards. We have other ways that we'll send you the assets after when the show airs. And even the quote cards becoming an issue because so many people just take a selfie in their kitchen, and people, you just can't. You cannot, like, you bring my brand down when you do that. So now we just say, look, if they don't want the picture, then we either don't do the quote card or we just take their picture off, but we can't have you making us look bad. So I apologize for the rant, but
It's a valid point though.
Yeah.
It's a valid point.
That is everything. People, you like show up professional. You can't even take a headshot. Anyhow, I'm ranting.
Well,
we'll have to cut the rant
but
out.
that's such a great point though, because that's the impression people get. They have no idea about you outside the new connection request you just got sent, that you just received. They're going to check out your headshot. They're going to judge you very quickly. That's really key. And if you actually want to generate inbound leads, if you're actually like commenting on targeted posts or targeted people that you're following in your target market, they're going to see your headshot. So again, the headshot is like bait. So picture your whole profile is like bait. So then from there, the first thing you're going to do is probably going to build a hyper targeted list, which is the people that are actually going to be most likely to actually do business with you, of the right target market, the right title, right industry, right everything. That's really key as well, because if you're just sending mass messaging, it's not going to get a very good result. You're better off just being like hyper targeted and going after the right people. So after you go after the right list and you send a connection request, now I do recommend take some time and make it personalized, a connection request. That's so key. It's like if it's too general, like, hey, Marcus, saw your sales good, hoping to connect. Well, that's pretty lame. That's
add you to my network. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. If the key is if you want to separate, just take a little bit of time, you can go through their profile, find something that's relatively interesting. That's not like, so I went to school here. Saw your duck, go Ducks. Okay, that's really like if they're going after me, maybe I put a post up, about my new training, and they say, hey Marcus, saw your new training that you put out today, really, really impactful on how it helps AEs achieve this big desired result. Hoping to connect. Oh wow, cool.
Let me stop for a second and unpack just when we make the list. So I know whether you have Sales Navigator or you don't, with LinkedIn being so massive, I get overwhelmed there. And I say, okay, I'm going to narrow it down. I try to narrow it down as much as I can and say, here, we'll just pick this one word. Like they're calling themselves a founder and they've got a business this size and they've been in business this long. And yet you still have such a massive amount on that list. And I find it really hard to keep track of it. Do you have any ideas for that?
Yeah, so if you are using Sales Navigator, you definitely need to get much more niche down to that than just that. Just because if you're looking up, say, president or founder, I mean, you're going to find literally millions of people across the world, and you want to get more specific. So, for example, maybe if you're going to go after, let's just say, service-based businesses, let's just say HVAC, right? Now, that's gonna be a little more niche. Okay, cool. So that might go from like 10 million to like 5 million, which still might be too many. And you go even tighter. So it could be by anything from geography. It could be how long they've been in business for.
So I did do that. So maybe I would do like, often I'm dealing with business coaches, and maybe I would say, okay, we're going to say business this long. Maybe I pick geography, even though it's not geography specific. I've got clients around the world, but at least that narrows it down. Then I can say sales coach versus business coach, keep narrowing, just keep chipping away at it.
Yeah. The more niche down, the better it's going to be, because, and you don't have to do necessarily geography, because especially if you're servicing worldwide. If you're servicing worldwide, I probably would do by geography. Now, you may choose specifically the countries that have the best, the strongest currency, because that way the conversion is not all wonky, right? Because the reality is that's key. And then also you could also target by, I'll probably do it by employee count as well. Because
again, I do that. Yeah.
If they have at least 5-10 employees, they're probably making some money. So now, all right, cool. At least they're more targeted. You can also then filter out even more, probably do probably first, second, maybe third connection if you want, but like you can still have more target words, like maybe a second connection. So that way it's a manageable list. That's really key. Now, if you're using Sales Navigator to build this list, you can also create separate lists as well. If you want to have like here's my search for, all the US-based sales coaches who've been in business for at least 5 years, who have at least 5 employees. All right, That's a little more like, that's one list. Maybe I'll build one for Canada. Maybe I'll build one for United Kingdom. Maybe one for Australia, New Zealand, etc. So that way I can use some of their lingo. Now, if I want to get even more niche, I might look at a specific keyword or something else to make it a little more niche, but again, it depends on what you want to do. Now, the goal is you get to a point where it's a workable list. Okay. A workable list.
Okay. Now got the list. We're ready to go. We're ready to do something.
Beautiful.
Now. Okay.
Beautiful. Now, I would also avoid in-mails. Don't do in-mails. You want to connect with them first and not do in-mails. So depending on,
and let's just clarify for those listening what you mean by in-mails.
Good question. So in-mails means you are actually not connected to that prospect. Okay. And you are using what's called in-mails, which is almost like a spam mail. Okay.
Right. So in Sales Navigator.
You can do it in Sales Navigator. You can actually do it in regular LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
So when people receive it, it's like in-mail from so-and-so. So
right.
When you get in your inbox, it already stands out, and you don't want that. Your goal is not to look like, your goal is not to look like another person just spamming you. So
like walking into any social event in the world, since you're in grade 4, make sure you go in, say hello, see if you can get the connection, add some note to the connection, make the connection before you try to hop into their inbox.
100%. Now, bonus points if they're actually active on LinkedIn, right? If they're actually active on LinkedIn. So before you do that, if they just say posted yesterday or today, go into the post, engaging on it and dropping a thoughtful comment, and then send a connection request. It's going to increase the throughput, the connection rate of them accepting your request.
Okay.
So now they're more likely to actually respond because you clearly have already stood out by doing that. All right. So these are bonus points. Now, and then they accept the request. And then what you want to do is, I always recommend they can't scale to the same level, but depending on how big your business is, you will have a higher conversion, which is you send them a video message. So if you're
using LinkedIn,
100%. 100%.
Okay, so I'm all about video. I use BombBomb and I get a lot of compliments for my videos, which, by the way, is just really, as somebody that comes from the whole angle of efficiency, there's so much more texture and understanding, and you feel like you've met somebody when you saw their face and you heard their voice. So and then it's just, no matter how fast you can type, you can talk quicker. So I'm all about that. Now, I don't know. I had somebody else recommend that, and I probably wasn't as consistent on that, but I didn't get the open rates I felt I would get on LinkedIn with the video. I didn't see,
depends.
But
are you using direct LinkedIn or using BombBomb or Vidyard or a third?
No, I dropped the BombBomb because I knew that. I was like, okay, if I'm in LinkedIn, use the LinkedIn thing. So if I'm reaching out to be on somebody's podcast, I'll send them a BombBomb one because there's a GIF, but that's kind of a different dynamics. But if I'm just trying to chat them up, I was using the LinkedIn video, but I guess perhaps I didn't do enough of the upfront work or something. Or you know what? Well, you can't tell the open. I guess, can you see if they've opened it on LinkedIn?
So you can tell if they opened it based off, you'll see their face on there, right? So
okay.
So I've tested it. I've tested using third-party apps, whether it's BombBomb, Drift, Vidyard, and you drop it in. It looks really cool. And I've also tested direct, using your phone, recording in your phone, and directly uploading it. By far, direct to it has a better conversion, better response.
I think so, because I think as much as I love BombBomb, I would support you in that and saying it looks presented to versus, hey, I just thought of this, or I just saw something I want to comment, whatever. So, okay, so let's go back and assume it's all on me that either I wasn't consistent with it enough or whatever. What am I saying in this video? What's my approach?
Yeah, so a couple different approaches, right? So I'm going to give you one I prefer, which will give you, it's playing the long game as a thing. And then I'll give you another one, which will give a little faster result, but your conversions will go down. All right.
Okay.
So the first piece is in the video. It should be about 30 seconds long max. That's the first thing. And they're just like anything else. You want to be intentional with the video. So even before I go into what you say, how do you say it? How do you show up? What's your background? What's the lighting? What's the energy you have in the video? Is it what they want to see? Is it of value to them? This is the stuff you want to ask yourself before you do the video. And you can't just do one video like, oh, it doesn't work. If you do 100 videos and you don't get any response, your video is probably not very good. I hate to say it. All right. So
no, that's okay. I'm all about that. Right. And I do find their lighting is a little less forgiving. Like you can't control the video or edit it or do anything like that. So is this something also where would you think don't do the video from my office, make the background a little bit more dynamic? What are your approaches on, what's your insight on those?
So it depends. I mean, uh, here's the thing: you're a busy entrepreneur, so am I. So are probably many people that are listening to this. Sometimes we don't have the best setup at our house, and you're just totally fine, by the way. But it might be as simple as if you time block a little bit of time, maybe on your lunch, and you're just outside, filming outside. Not a big deal. As long as they can see you and they can tell you're not a weirdo like spamming them. That's really the key. You're trying to again reduce their risk and increase that trust level with them. So
let me tap in here with that trust
Sure.
level. My office does have a pretty good setup for videos and all those other things. So, but then if you had the perfect choice between two, because you've got a great setup as well, does it still lend itself to professional pitching you with the setup, and you might be more a warmer reception if you're outside? Which way would you go?
I'll say I'll go for speed here. As long as if both look good from outside or inside, I'm about efficiency and speed. So
amen. Welcome to the church. Okay.
If I'm right here, I don't want to just waste time to go outside and film some videos.
Gotcha.
So that's that all that stuff, like it helps. But it's kind of like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like
right.
It helps a little bit, but it's not gonna be the reason they don't respond to you. Now, if it's like really dim, they can't see you, and you look like you're in the shadows, and you sound boring and not engaging, they're probably not gonna want to talk to you anyways. So, just something to think about. So anyway, once it's on there, I think it's also important. Like immediately, once you hit record, you gotta bring the energy. So immediately, I like to say, hey, their name, my name, and why I'm reaching out, and I want to give them something a high value, completely free.
Okay.
That's really key. So this could be anything from, it could be depending on the industry you're in. So I'm a sales coach, so I give them free training. I'm like, hey, here's this awesome training on how to achieve this. So the video, how it sounds, it's like this. It's like, hey, Chris, Marcus Chan. First, I was super happy to connect with you. I love your book, Win the Day or Win the Hour. I've actually read that. I would say that, but Win the Hour, incredible, major impact to me because of one specific thing I read in there. The more specific, the better. Okay. If you don't have that some specific, then you might want to leave that out. But if it's more specific,
but that's a pretty tall ask, because I can't, like, if you're going to send out 50 pitches, you can't read 50 books, and they may not have a book, right? So
okay, so I wouldn't get literal here. So my point is, it's something clearly personal to them that you did.
I got you. Okay,
that's
don't get stuck on the details, Chris. Got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
Exactly right. It could be you just put a post up. Right.
Here's one of my things, and I do think I think there'd be no wars if people did this. I never say something I don't mean. If somebody shows me an unattractive child, I say, look at him pick up that ball. Look at his motor skills. So I do say compliments only on what I mean. And there is always something to compliment people, right?
Correct.
So I always, whenever I can, start with a compliment, because we cannot get too many of those, right? And I think it shows and I think it shows sincerity, and why not? So I'm all about that. There must be something you can compliment them on, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to engage. We're going to compliment them. I guess my fear is, if we're offering, even for you, you're offering them free sales training. Do I not oh no, if I opt into that, now he's going to try to sell me?
It just depends on what you want to give them. So I'm just giving you, so again, you're being very literal here. My point is, you give them something of value.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
So that could be a YouTube channel. It could be a PDF guide. It could be a blog post you wrote, but it's got to be of value to them. That's what's really key. So, and every audience is very, very different. So that's why you have to put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Now, if you're going to have someone opt into something, that's fine too. Or if you don't have enough brand credibility, then remove the gate and give them something completely ungated. And you might need to do that to build up your audience, especially if you're new, you're starting out. Like you might need to reduce the friction of the conversion page. Like I just know all my conversion pages are 40, 50%. So I can cold message someone and still send to them, and we'll have a high conversion because I know the copy is so well done. It converts at a high level. So, and you may not know those details, and that's totally fine. But my point is whatever's of value to them, that's what you want to give them.
I think where I'm getting stuck, Marcus, and thank you for, pulling me out of it when I need it. I think from my end, we see so many people that come through on LinkedIn that don't do it well. And so I think when you go, here's step 1, 2, and 3, and then number 4 is give them something of value. I see too many times come through my inbox like, oh, I have this amazing blah, 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 blah. And they didn't even say hello or anything. And it's coming at me. And I know they're trying to get me in there. So even though it's like, well, that's free, but I know what's coming next. Right. And so I think that's where I get literal, but I think, okay, fine. If we do all these things together and then you generously give somebody that, and now I'm thinking about it differently too. I think we've pulled away from here's just your free crappy PDF, right? If here's 7 tips of doing whatever versus if I really start maybe with my book and say, hey, I've, put together the 12 most highlighted sections of my entire book. And I thought this might be of help to you or something like that.
As long as there's a value to them. So the most important thing is like from the title they hear to like, if I just said, hey, John, check out my YouTube channel, check out and subscribe, they'd be like, that's lame. They don't want that. Right. But if I said, hey, I just put together this brand new free YouTube video on my 70% voicemail callback script. It's completely free. Here it is. Check it out. Enjoy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now they're like, oh, wow. Okay. That sounds really good. I want that. So it's not necessarily the mistake a lot of people make is like, hey, I put together this blog post. I included below. Check it out. I think you'll like it. No, it's lame. Right. But if it's something that's really going to help them, hey, here's, say you're like you're an accountant and you work with business coaches. Hey, here's actually a PDF guide on 7 ways to reduce your taxable income so you take more money home. Check it out. It's completely free. You might be like, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. I think I want to reduce my taxable income. So again, it's got to be something that's going to be of value to them. So the mistake a lot of people make is they take the value, like, oh, it's a value to me, but not to my prospect.
Right. So, yes, you're right. You're right.
So it's got to be cold friendly. It's got to be a cold friendly a value item. Cold friendly.
I like that word. That's a good one. Cold friendly. Everybody write that down.
Like they don't know you. Like they don't know about your book, but because they know whatever problem you're focused on, like, ooh, that sounds nice. Like I don't know who
you're right. They don't know my book, or like I get a lot of compliments on my book, but they don't know that. So the 12 biggest sections of it, whatever. Yeah. Okay, I hear you now. I hear you. I think
here's the thing. You could take from your book though. Let's just say, for example, like if it's like, hey, here's a PDF on 5 ways to cut your working hours in half. Without sacrificing whatever. And if that's something your target market wants, and all this, you just take it from your book, those highlights. It might be the same fulfillment of the PDF, but it's packaged in a way that they actually want it. That's the key.
Very good. Okay. I think it's like something as simple as you can make, something for dinner and it's all good and well. And then all you do is you put too much salt on it. You can ruin an hour of cooking. Right. So I think what I hear from you today is, some of these steps I've definitely have heard before and I've definitely tried before. That's great. But I think it's some minor adjustments in each one of those that, don't just scrap it all. Let's take a look at each thing and then tighten up what we're doing here. So perfect. Excellent. Okay. Man, time flies by with you. Go ahead.
Well, just kind of loud because I'll make sure people kind of walk with it, what to say and what to do.
Okay. Yeah.
But you go into the same thing, hey, Chris, first off, I saw your book. I just actually ordered it on Amazon. I can't wait to check it out. It looks absolutely incredible. So that'd be true, right? If that's the case. Hey, so I love working with coaches just like you. I put together this free training on 3 steps to, add an extra 100K to your bottom line. I include below. Check it out if you enjoy it. Enjoy. Happy to connect here. See you later. That's it. So there's no like call to action. There's no like, if you like it, let's book a call. Hey, if you really enjoy this, we'll go ahead and just jump on a call next week. Here's my calendar. There's none of that. So like your call to action is like, hey, just check it out if you like. Super soft, very non-threatening, no big deal, something of value. And if you're not comfortable having it gated, give it ungated. Totally fine. Give it ungated. It makes it
because nothing makes me more cranky than someone I don't know. I've disconnected. I was looking at your stuff and I was wondering, I think we collaborate on a lot of things. Here's my calendar. Let's connect next week. What the heck? Do you think I'm sitting here? Like I have a mother I could visit. Like you know what I mean? Okay. So you throw that out, you give them something of value. Let me see, hopefully this, hey, whatever. And then do you circle back? Cause you're not strong arming them. You're just giving them something. I think that's the thing. These are simple things. And I'm really having a lot of aha moments here. also I see your strength is your weakness. So sometimes we get so disciplined and organized, you're running around, you're all about efficiencies, and that's great. But then you forget, you forget this is a process of socialization, right? And
That's right.
when you're in a room with somebody, you know that, but then you look at all these inboxes, things you have to do on LinkedIn. So I think it's really just about the depth of doing each one of these steps in a meaningful social
That's right.
way without giving and not barely letting go of it before you tell them you want something. So when we go through this and we're more sincere and more of service, and I know you hear this all the time, but I'm really grasping why this is now working a little bit deeper level. Whether they opt in or not, what do you do with that after that?
Awesome question. So let's just say, for example, to make it simple, let's just say it's a ungated item. Okay, so something they can watch, read, whatever. I forgot to mention as well. Below the video, I include a little bit of text as well, and it's basically like very similar to what I said, but it's in text. And
So when I do the personal video on LinkedIn, also
yeah,
put the text beneath that. Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Just because sometimes people are maybe they're with their kids, maybe they're in a place they can't really play the video and hear it very well, or
Okay.
whatever, So then maybe they'll try to play it, but they can't hear it because whatever. The text also helps as well, and the text is very simple. It's like, "Hey, Chris, like I mentioned above, I love helping business coaches, achieve this big desired result. Here's the thing. Here's the thing I mentioned. Boom. Enjoy.
Okay.
Have a great day. It's it. Super simple.
Okay.
So that they can read,
Perfect.
like, okay, they can watch you, they feel your energy, but they see it like, all right, cool. Okay.
So you don't
Sounds
have to do
good.
a complete transcription. You can just summarize so they have an idea what that is above, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want
Perfect.
this to be like a no scroll, if you will. Like
Okay.
if they can just, you don't want them to minimize the scrolling, which reduces friction. So
Okay.
they're gonna probably watch it on the phone. They could see your video, and then below that they'll see like a little bit of text, and that's it. So the minimize, you don't want like an essay below.
No.
So
Okay.
30-second video, text is even shorter, very simple, and no call to action. Don't have an email, don't have a signature, don't put your phone number, don't put a booking link, don't put a website, don't put anything else outside the freebie. Okay.
Okay.
Like in type in casual language.
Okay.
Casual is better. If it sounds too professional, they think you're a robot.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right.
yeah,
Yeah.
too professional turns people away, actually.
Okay.
People are used
I'm
to
not that
copy
professional,
efficiencies.
but I've been
Yeah,
called many things, but not a robot.
that's fair.
Okay. And
Okay.
so then we give them, we truly be of service because we
Yep.
really are trying to be.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then what do we do with that afterwards?
Good. Very good question. So, and then you can wait a couple of days, right? So, depending how you manage your whole sales process, give it a
Okay.
couple of days, depending on really how robust it is. So, if it's like a 2-hour training, if you're messaging the next day, that's not very good emotional intelligence. So, like,
Okay.
exercise a little bit of EQ, right? So maybe wait a couple of days, right? So let's wait 2 days. Wait 2 days, and then if they have a message back, shoot them a quick message. Very simple. Just a follow. Hey, so and so, what'd you think of this? What'd you think of that guy? What'd you think of this? Love to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Super. Again, no booking link, no signature, nothing. Your goal is just like you're just seeing what they say.
Okay.
Now, if it's a really good like high value piece, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that was awesome," or they're gonna say, "Oh, I looked at it for briefly. I didn't get a chance yet, but I'll definitely check it out." Okay, cool, awesome, no big deal, awesome. I hope you enjoy it. Again, you haven't earned the right to have a conversation. So here, if you notice, the entire time we're earning the right to have a conversation, which then
Mm,
earns the right to be able to actually ask questions or even get on a call with them. Okay.
okay.
So you can kind of see
Okay.
how this is like super useful, but like let's just say fast forward like a week now, and they still haven't read it yet. But you have this little conversation here. I still wouldn't go for asking for a call yet. You have to kind of read the situation a little bit. If
Well, what
they're
do we talk
post,
about them next? Like what
Mhm.
that's the part where I get lost in the chit
Yeah,
chat at LinkedIn. It's like, okay, I don't want to ask them week after week, have you seen it? And they haven't. I don't want to ask them
nope,
that 3 times. So that's
nope.
the part I struggle with.
Yeah, so you're spot on. So there's many different approaches you can approach. The number one, if they're posting on LinkedIn or engaging, those are easy ways to start sub conversations. Not in the
Okay.
DM, not in the direct message inbox, but let's just say they post something, you can obviously engage in their posts. All right,
Okay.
and obviously you can use that as a reason to message them again. Hey,
Mm, okay.
Chris, loved your post today about this. Really impactful.
Okay.
Again, you're just like giving, you're giving. Or
Okay.
maybe
So we'll see their post and we would comment on the post and then go back and carry it. Hey, then you would leave a message about the post. And I saw that today. It was really cool, whatever. So now we're having a sidebar conversation.
totally nothing to do with your
Okay.
PDF,
This is
nothing to
the
do with,
part we're missing.
yeah.
This is the plane is landing for me here. Okay.
Yeah. So if you
Because
know,
you know what?
we're still earning it. We haven't earned the right to ask for a meeting.
And I get that, but I just didn't know how to earn it without sounding like, that annoying person that's asked me every
Correct.
Monday that I didn't initiate this with. And I do very much believe in, like, we have this whole process of things that I do to maintain relationships. Like, I meet someone like you and it's like, great, with this great half hour. And then all of a sudden, if you're not careful, you're rotating relationships, not maintaining them. And so I really changed my whole approach with that. It's very structured, but I was really struggling with how to do that on LinkedIn. And I'm always impressed with someone like yourself. Where it's like, well, that was friggin' simple. I am over there commenting. Why can't then I bring that into the conversation, sidebar? So either you're really smart or I'm really slow. Because why didn't I think of that?
So a lot of times what I find is when someone said, hey, this platform doesn't work. Hey, cold emails work. Hey, cold calling doesn't work. It's not changing everything. It's actually just like a little tiny adjustment.
Yeah.
It's like when you get a new car, the stereo sounds pretty good, but I want to go the treble, just a little bit, the bass a little bit, and now it sounds really good. I don't need a new stereo. It's a great car, great stereo. I just need to make some tweaks. So that's an example there. Yeah.
We've had some amazing people here on LinkedIn, and I know to comment and to engage. And I learned that, I can control that. I can't control who watches or likes my post, but I can control me engaging with yours. That's fantastic. But that simple idea of tying that into the private messaging, that makes such a big difference.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll see if your audience is on LinkedIn, maybe they're not posting, but if that person has engaged on something, you can see like what they liked and commented on. If they comment somewhere else, you can go to their comment and comment underneath their comment on someone else's post. So there's a lot of different ways you can really approach it. Now, let's just say, for example, maybe they haven't commented at all. Maybe they're just like, they're one people to kind of sit back, they absorb and just kind of they consume content, but they're not actually engaging and commenting. So this is where I think it's important to have a few different, like, not only tricks up your sleeve, but other pieces of value that they might like too. So let's just say fast forward, it's been a couple of weeks, they still haven't read whatever it was. If it's too robust of a training, try to give them something a little bit easier. Do you get something else that's of value for them? Like, hey, hey, Chris, I'm not sure if this will be of value to you, but I just put together this like blog post on 3 ways to do this specific thing that you really want without a big worry that you probably have.
Okay.
So,
oh my gosh. This has been fun and time flies with you, Marcus. Yep. That's a disappointment. Okay.
It's good and bad at the same time. It's good and bad at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, clearly they can find you on LinkedIn, correct? Where can they find more of your brilliance?
Super simple. Head over to sixfiguresalesacademy.com. That's SIX for sixfiguresalesacademy.com. You can head over to find all my free trainings on there, a bunch of other free stuff as well.
Okay, boy, oh boy, I'm just going to be making notes all over the place. Everyone, reach out. You tell them you heard him on this podcast, because I think landing this plane at the end was really worth its time. So thank you so much, Marcus. We really appreciate you, and everyone else. We'll see you in the next episode.